নমস্কাৰ শ্ৰোতাসকল, আজিৰ প্ৰাসংগিকলৈ স্বাগতম। আজিৰ অনুষ্ঠানত শুনক নুমলীগড় শোধনাগাৰ লিমিটেডৰ কাৰিকৰী সঞ্চালক ভাস্কৰ ফুকনৰ সৈতে মানস প্ৰতিম শৰ্মাৰ কথোপকথন।
Sir, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
So let's discuss how things are going on right now since we are in an unlock period.
Yeah, going through that lockdown period, I think we have managed things pretty well. We could manage our refinery operation, and also the projects were on its track during the lockdown period. And coming into unlock, we are now in full swing as far as refinery is concerned, and almost we are up to around 90 to 95% throughput level. Sales are looking up. Secondly, the projects like refinery expansion projects and the pipeline projects, Indo-Bangla Friendship Pipeline project, and the biorefinery project. These are the four major projects that we are undertaking. All of them are progressing very well post-unlock. So we are doing pretty well. Actually, we could get out of that lockdown period, which was an extremely challenging period for us, both in terms of maintaining the production level, as our people were also getting impacted by COVID. At one point of time, more than 150 employees out of 800 employees were impacted. But with strict protocol that we have put in place, we have been able to come out of that situation. Situation is much better. As of now, as we speak, only around 10 employees infected by COVID, and new infections reduced drastically. So this is where we are today.
Great to know that situations are limping back to normalcy at NRL. So now, as we are discussing these things, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Assam. So how far NRL is planning to contribute towards that to achieve the goal through Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Yeah, you'll be happy to note that we are actually doing a lot of projects. This is one way that we are contributing towards giving opportunity to the local manufacturers, local contractors, even the local laborers are getting involved. As we speak today, we are employing around 1,000 employees, contract workers for our projects at Numaligarh itself. There are two major projects, as I had already touched on. One is the biorefinery project, which is there to convert bamboo into ethanol. Ethanol will eventually go into the petrol and used in IC engines. So this is a unique project, and then it will contribute to biofuel in the region. So there actually we are employing around 700 odd people. And in the main refinery project, which is about to begin, some preparatory activities are underway. Around 400 people are working there. So that way, around 1,100 people are already working at that site on a continuous basis. And contractors are also getting mobilized. So that way, the project is in full swing. And you will also be happy to know that this year itself, we have a plan to procure around 350 crores of materials. So our people, our Indian vendors will have an opportunity to supply this. Next year, that amount goes up to around 6,000 crores. That way, things are looking up. We are trying to prepone the expenditure and front-loading our projects so that get out of this downturn in the economy. We want to prepone the expenditures that we are going to do in the projects. This is a small way we are trying to contribute towards the economy. So this is what we are doing at the moment.
And sir, during lockdown, several people who are working outside Assam, eventually, they had to return to their states. Are you also engaging them?
Yeah, few of them have come back. As you know, NRL is heavily invested on the skill development. That has enabled us to engage maximum local people in our project. So we did a aggressive skilling activity in last 4 or 5 years. Then we have created pool of skilled workers like welders, fitters, wiremen, like that. We have created a very large pool of local people who are now getting benefited out of the projects that we are executing. Nevertheless, there are skilled people who are required to travel from outside. We are taking good care of them. We have facilities for them to reside, and accommodations are hygienic. So people who were with us prior to lockdown, some of them have already come back and they are working with us, and we could manage the situation quite well.
Okay. And since you are working for a long time in this sector, how do you see this? How this COVID pandemic situation might have affect the oil and natural gas industry sector, specifically in Assam as a whole?
Yeah, let me start from the global context.
Right.
As you have 2016, there was a demand destruction to start with. There are a lot of debate going on. On the long run, actually, people will see an energy transition. Some countries, it will happen faster than in India. So one of the key areas which will transit from the fossil fuel to EVs, electrical vehicles. So there are two variants of electrical vehicle again. One is called FCEV, that is fuel cell electric vehicle, which will hydrogen will be put into that. So fuel cell will convert this hydrogen into electricity, and that will eventually run the vehicle. These are the two major segments. That is pure EV, which will be battery-driven EVs, and one is FCEV. Be aware of both the things. So you will be happy to know that NRL is already producing around 48,000 metric ton of hydrogen, which of course is being utilized today to produce that BS6 grade of fuel. In the future, if the demand for auto fuel drops and we were to migrate to hydrogen-based economy, then probably we are already equipped because we are already producing hydrogen. We have to only see how this hydrogen will be supplied to the people where it is required. See, this is one area. Secondly, with our new refinery that is expansion coming, we will produce another 70 TMT of hydrogen. So that both the hydrogen production combined actually unlocks a lot of opportunities in future. Secondly, again, taking into consideration the energy transition into view, so we have already invested in biorefinery, as I have told. So we will produce around 50,000 metric ton of bioethanol, so from bamboo as feedstock. So those will go for blending with MS. Definitely, that is another way to look at it, and it will also save a lot of foreign currency because a lot of crude is getting imported, and you can imagine something which is domestically produced will replace the requirement to import crude to that extent. Similarly, all the refineries in India, along with the world who wants to survive in a long term, is trying to migrate from traditional refining to petrochemical production, where NRL is also trying to do it with the refinery expansion coming into place. Also, we are trying to produce some smart chemicals from the crude itself. So this is our game plan. Actually, this is a four-pronged approach. One, hydrogen. We are looking hydrogen very seriously as a fuel itself. Second, biofuel. Third is petrochemical, and fourth is chemical. These are the way forward in the long run to address the energy transition issues. So both globally it will happen. India, perhaps it will happen a little later, but we are ready for it when the challenge comes. In the medium term, we have to survive with a low margin because the crude prices going down, product prices are also going down. The margins out of the refining business, what used to be, will not remain in future. That we have recognized very well. So we have invested heavily on reliability, mostly centered on digital initiatives. Those we will pursue so that even if on a medium term we face a low margin situation, we will survive in medium term so that we can be ready with the energy transition challenges that will come in future. So this is our strategy in a nutshell.
Right. And you have already mentioned about the skill development aspect. Would you please elaborate with what are the thrust areas in skill development?
Yeah. As we are embarking on this refinery expansion project, you can imagine a lot of skilled workers will be required. As you know, refinery mostly centers around the mechanical, instrumentation and electrical jobs. So those skills were not very easily available in this part of the country. So we have invested in skill development activities. Particularly, we have invested in ITIs. We have created one revived or created, whatever you may say, in the Golaghat so that the local youths were trained in what you call welding technology, and wireman is the one who does the electrical job. We earlier had also invested in ITI of Jorhat in those skill development activities way back from maybe since last 4 or 5 years. So that way we had created a lot of pools where these people could have participated in mechanical, electrical and instrumentation jobs, which are the backbone of the refinery expansion.
Right. Mr. Phukan, you gave us time and you gave us valuable inputs on NRL activities. Thank you. Thanks a lot to all the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you.
প্ৰাসংগিক শুনিলে আজিৰ অনুষ্ঠানটিৰ প্ৰযোজনা কৰিলে মানস প্ৰতিম শৰ্মাই, সহযোগিতা আগবঢ়ালে অপূৰ্ব মালিয়ে। পৰৱৰ্তী প্ৰাসংগিক শুনিবলৈ পাব অহা সপ্তাহৰ আজিৰ এই একে সময়তে। নমস্কাৰ।